Welcome back, everyone. Matthew here with CineGold. We've covered a lot of Netflix content on this channel, but what about the great shows you're missing if you only stick to Netflix? Today, we're focusing on historical series, a genre that always does well here. And let me tell you, there are some absolute masterpieces on other streaming services. So let's dive into the top 10 historical series not on Netflix, starting with number 10.
I come here this day to introduce to you my new wife. It seems incredible to have obtained such a perfect jewel of womanhood, who bears towards me such perfect love. To Queen Catherine.
Set in 16th century England, The Tudors follows the reign of King Henry VIII, chronicling his political battles, numerous marriages, and the dramatic upheaval of the English Reformation. I'll be honest, this list was pretty hard to narrow down. There are so many deserving shows, and cutting the list to just 10 means I had to cut out numerous great series. But I wanted to include The Tudors because it was one of the first good historical series I ever got into. It was kind of like Game of Thrones, although it preceded that show by a few years. It definitely leans heavily into the more sensational aspects of Henry's rule, from the wars, betrayals, and of course the infamous Six Wives. It's got a young and excellent Jonathan Rhys-Meyers and Henry Cavill, and The Tudors is just great if you're into palace intrigue and political maneuvering. The Tudors originally ran for 4 seasons and 38 episodes on Showtime, but nowadays you can find it on streaming platforms like Amazon Prime and on Channel 4 in the UK. Next up at number 9 is Black Sails.
I'd like to thank you for the orderly surrender of your ship.
Set in the early 1700s, Black Sails follows Captain Flint and his crew as they battle rival pirates and colonial forces while searching for fortune and power in the lawless Caribbean. Black Sails serves as a prequel to the classic pirate novel Treasure Island and is an extremely fun, gritty, and action-packed pirate series. The writing is top-notch and blends historical figures like Blackbeard with fictional legends from Treasure Island. Unlike most pirate-themed media, Black Sails doesn't romanticize the lifestyle. It fully embraces the brutality and lawlessness of the time. It also does an incredible job of weaving real historical events into its fictional narrative, making it a fascinating watch for anyone interested in piracy. Black Sails is a 4-season, 38-episode series that aired on Starz and can still be found on their streaming service as well as Amazon Prime in some regions. At number 8 is The Chosen, a historical drama that tells the story of Jesus Christ through the eyes of the people who followed him. This isn't just another Bible retelling, it's one of the most critically acclaimed and well-produced religious dramas ever made. The Chosen offers a grounded look at life in 1st century Judea, exploring Roman rule, Jewish customs, and the social struggles of the time. It's great if you're interested in ancient history, as it provides an insightful, well-acted perspective on one of the most influential figures in history. The Chosen is an incomplete series with a 5th season coming soon and can be found on numerous streaming services such as Prime, Peacock, Apple TV Plus, and even for free on their website. At number 7 is Shogun.
To show your true heart is to risk your life, because death can come for us at any moment.
This Hulu series is set in 17th century Japan and follows an English navigator who finds himself shipwrecked in a land of samurai tradition and feudal power struggles. Shogun is easily one of the best historical dramas still running today. And when I say drama, I don't mean it in the soapy or melodramatic sense, but in the classic Greek tragedy sense. Characters grapple with fate, moral dilemmas, and the weight of their choices, confronting betrayal, hubris, and conflicts between gods and beliefs. Shogun has a grand sweeping story, endless political intrigue, and a timeless, near mythic level of entertainment. It was my favorite series of 2024, and luckily we have more seasons on the way. Right now you can catch the 1st season of Shogun on Hulu in the US and on Disney Plus in most other regions. At number 6 we have the 2010 series Spartacus.
We are at war. Underestimating your opponent is a Roman trait. We will not fall prey to it.
Spartacus is inspired by the real-life gladiator who was forced into slavery, trained to fight in the arena, and ultimately led an uprising against the Roman Republic. Spartacus is a blood-soaked, action-packed epic that immerses viewers in the world of gladiatorial combat and Roman corruption. It's great if you loved films like Gladiator and want an even grittier, more unfiltered take on the Roman arena. Few historical figures embody rebellion like Spartacus, and this series does a great job of showing the intensity of his struggle against Rome. Spartacus was a star series and can be streamed on their platform and consisted of 3 seasons and 39 episodes. Next up at number 5 is Boardwalk Empire. Set during the Prohibition era, it follows a corrupt politician who controls Atlantic City's booming illegal liquor trade. Boardwalk Empire is a masterclass in period storytelling, stylish, meticulously detailed, and filled with complex characters. It captures the essence of the Prohibition era perfectly. It's a fascinating gangster drama that shows the early bootlegging days and the rise of organized crime. It blends real history with gripping drama, featuring historical figures like Al Capone and Lucky Luciano. If you love crime dramas or early 20th century American history, Boardwalk Empire is a can't miss. It's a 5-season, 56-episode series that can be found on the Max streaming platform. Coming in at the number 4 spot is Chernobyl.
The pain is unimaginable. In 3 days to 3 weeks, you're dead.
Chernobyl covers the 1986 nuclear power plant explosion in which people fight to contain the disaster while navigating the Soviet Union's oppressive bureaucracy. What's great about Chernobyl is that it's a meticulous recreation of a real-world tragedy that exposes the dangers of misinformation and government cover-ups. The show's dedication to historical accuracy, from the radiation effects to the set design replicating Soviet-era Ukraine, makes it an essential watch for anyone interested in Cold War history. It's got a 9.3 IMDb rating, making it one of the highest rated series of all time, and only topped by one other series on this list. It's definitely a must-see, and like a lot of series on the upper half of this list, it can be found on the streaming service Max. Next up at number 3 is Deadwood. The series is set in the lawless town of Deadwood, South Dakota, where gold prospectors, outlaws, and opportunists flood the town, bringing chaos and violence with them. Deadwood is widely considered to be one of the greatest Western TV shows ever made. It's a masterclass in storytelling, character development, and dialogue. Ian McShane delivers an unforgettable performance as the ruthless yet oddly charismatic Swearingen, and Deadwood's complex characters make every episode feel like a Shakespearean tragedy set in the Old West. It strips away the Hollywood myth and shows the Old West for what it really was: brutal, dirty, and full of morally gray characters. Deadwood is one of the definitive series about the American Old West. You can find all 3 seasons of it on Max. Next up is Rome.
You wouldn't die.
I told Caesar. I told him this would happen. The city is ours.
Set during the final days of the Roman Empire, Rome follows the rise and fall of Julius Caesar, the power struggles that led to the empire, and the lives of 2 Roman soldiers who find themselves caught up in historical events. Rome is one of the most immersive and entertaining historical dramas ever made. Lavish, ambitious, and beautifully crafted, the production design brings ancient Rome to life with stunning detail, from its chaotic streets to the grandeur of the Senate. The show balances large-scale political drama with deeply personal character arcs, making history feel alive and unpredictable. It's one of the best depictions of the Roman period ever put on screen, and a must-watch for fans of historical epics. You can stream both seasons of Rome on Max. And the number 1 historical series not on Netflix is Band of Brothers.
At 0600 hours, we will begin training to go to war.
Band of Brothers follows Easy Company of the 101st Airborne Division as they fight across Europe during World War II, from D-Day to the war's end, experiencing the hardships, camaraderie, and sacrifices of battle. Based on real events, Band of Brothers is widely regarded as one of the greatest war series ever made. It's an essential watch for World War II history buffs and does a great job of balancing intense action with smaller, character-driven moments. The performances are outstanding, the combat is breathtaking, and the emotionally powerful story is one of the best ever put on screen. It's an easy recommendation in our top series on the list. I should point out that Band of Brothers actually can be watched on Netflix in some regions, but it was originally an HBO series and can still be streamed on its streaming service Max. So there you have it, the top 10 historical series not on Netflix. I know there are a ton of other series worth making this list. Which ones do you think I should have added, and which ones are your favorite? Once again, that's it for me, everyone. I will see you again soon.